Not yet. We are not yet at 87,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, guys, and welcome to all the new subscribers. 86,000! Crazy! Beautiful sunny weather in sunny hot Australia. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another show. And you can see here both of the Gobelpower batteries next to each other, but only this one is the do-it-yourself box, and this one is the pre-assembled battery I have reviewed a while back. Do-it-yourself, pre-assembled, ready built. This one has the Pace BMS. This one has the JK BMS, no display, there's a display. Apart from that, everything is the same. And interestingly, they have still used solid bus bars here to connect the battery cells together. But these bus bars have the connectors for the balance cables and also for the active balancer this one has. Yeah, if you remember, we put a knee active balancer in this box, upgraded it from the 5 amp active balancer, which was running all the time. And then Gobelpower changed their design and delivered these batteries with a knee 4 amp active balancer with smart function, Bluetooth app on your phone, so you can set everything up as you like it. Man, look at this long BMS. That's the 200 amp Pace BMS. It's massive, big heatsink. The JK BMS looks tiny in comparison. And also interesting is that this compression plate here is tight against the chassis frame and also the batteries. And there's no foam anywhere. So why do we have a gap here and not here? These are the same cells, same dimensions. 304 ampere hours, 280 ampere hours. Yeah, these batteries are 1 millimeter shorter all in total than these ones, because I've got EVA tape here and at the end. So there's only 1 millimeter difference in the batteries of a stack of 8. So what has changed here? All the way back. Let me confirm this again here. 580. This is 10 millimeter longer. Okay, found it. What I have just measured is this part here. This is the support from this is the side support for your battery cells. And this one here is 10 millimeter shorter than the one in their pre-assembled battery. And this is exactly the 10 millimeters we are seeing here. This is our gap we have, and we don't have the gap here. And I also have changed the design of this rail. See, it is still screwed in here to the compression plate at the front, like in our do-it-yourself box, but the end is different. This one has an angle and then screws from the top, while this one has a cutout and goes under the frame, and then it's supposed to be lined up with the holes there in the frame, but it doesn't, because we've got a 10 millimeter gap here. They have also changed the design of the positive cable coming from the circuit breaker. See, this one goes in a sharp bend and then down, because in this battery, in this pre-assembled battery here, they also have a 200 amp or 250 amp fuse down there on the bottom, which this cable connects to. So they've got a fuse and a circuit breaker in series before it goes to the positive terminal here of your box. So this cable has not changed. This is pretty much the same as in our do-it-yourself box. And yep, it does the same sharp bend, and you can see it here as well. It comes from the ring lock and then bends pretty sharp over and goes down to the fuse. So I'm really not a big fan of that. This one is absolutely fine. It comes in a nice slow bend all the way down to the fuse. But these ones here, I mean, we've got options, right? So for example, you could have a piece of copper sticking here connected to the circuit breaker, and then can connect your cable in a straight way directly to this copper bus bar. It's just a short piece and acts as a link between your circuit breaker and your cable. And then you can go off in a nice and smooth angle to your positive terminal of your battery. Or, even better solution is using one of these 90-degree elbows. If you screw this one in, it gives you the right direction straight away. You can potentially bend this one over a little bit, so it goes in a nice way directly where you want them. Yeah, see this one in the battery box here? This is exactly what I'm using as well. It's a 90-degree elbow ring lock, and this points directly in the direction I need the cable to go to. But I could have used also a small piece of copper acting as a link. So, and these are just some differences I can spot straight away. Well, at the end, I must admit, it was probably a bit unfair to give this box only one frog and then 2 frogs in the next video, because I was very happy and satisfied with this pre-assembled battery. And looking at the design now, it is not different to the do-it-yourself box. They still have these sharp bends from the positive cable over here, and I wasn't overly worried when I reviewed this box here. And this battery here got a 4 out of 5 frogs. And it's pretty much the same design as the do-it-yourself box. But still, with these holes not lining up correctly and this rail system issue over there. But we can give it a satisfying 3 out of 5 frogs, right? Okay, maybe I changed my mind again because I need to build this other second do-it-yourself box right now. So I need to free up the Seplos vertical box as well, harvest all the cells from this box and put this in the other Gobelpower do-it-yourself box. This is what we are going to do right now. Okay, so far this first initial comparison about the pre-assembled box and the do-it-yourself box. Not much difference, but still we can see some design changes. Yeah, and as you can see, I also changed my design again here of the do-it-yourself box. I got rid of this middle string of spiral wrapped cables and used the 2 metal rails here. But I have not screwed them in over here. So what I found is if I dip them under the frame here and screw them in here, they get a bit of downward force on the battery cells now, and the rail is actually pretty solid. You can still move it left and right here, but it won't harm with any of the cells here and any of the contacts or something. It is still, it's not bomb fast, but it is enough. Yeah, and then I used some Velcro here to organize these cables inside this rail. And I've used the bigger spiral wrap here on the other side to organize to hold these cables in place. Otherwise, if you remove this yellow epoxy, all the cables will come out. And I hate this. So some of you were a bit concerned that these double bus bars were a bit close to the metal case of the battery box. Honestly, what do we have here? This is 8 millimeters and the frame is painted. I don't see any issues here. I could potentially print some 3D covers or so and put them over the terminals here in this space. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm good with that. You probably could see me struggling getting this box off the ground because I have forgotten to mount the front handles here to actually lift it up. So that was actually a quick task to put these handles on, but I can't because the holes are not lining up. This one does not fit. I cannot get these ones in here. Look at this. This is like 3 millimeters off. This one as well, and here as well. There's no way, and I have to put these ones in first because they are underneath the handles. I can't get them in anymore when the handles are mounted. So I don't know what's going on with their measurement, but it's a bit off. Damn it. 3 frogs, huh? Maybe you should go back to 2. Okay, I need to turn on the camera again, unfortunately. So the front panel here does not line up well with these holes. I've got this one lining up, this one, and that's pretty much it. I even had to remove these 3 screws here, and you can see what the lid is doing. Look at this. How it bends, how it comes up in the corners. So something is definitely not right with this box here. I'm really keen to see the other box now, if this is the same problem then. Maybe this plate belongs to the other box and this front plate belongs to here. I'm not going to change this anymore. This is how it is now and this is how it stays. Man. So I've now got the second frame here and the second front panel, and look along this line here. See how wavy this is? As if the box has a damage here in this area. And of course the front panel won't line up here either. If I get the top and bottom screw of the handle lined up, well, there's nothing over here. There's nothing. I'm not sure if this is a transport issue or something, a transport damage or whatever, or if this is a design, I don't know. This is the pre-assembled box, and this line is straight, perfectly straight. It's a do-it-yourself box, Andy. Come on. Yeah, guess who? it's me again. I've got this screw in and this one here in the middle and all the other holes. This one may be able to, this one is not lining up. The bottom not lining up, not lining up, not lining up, not lining up. Yeah, this one will work. So it's exactly the same as over there. So I think there's either a measurement issue or a production issue or even both. And the front panel is not lining up with the holes. So I probably have to drill out these holes a bit to make it actually work with the threads underneath. I used the rubber hammer to make this line straight, but the front panel is still not lining up. Okay, let's open the Seplos vertical box together and see how much work it is to get these cells out. I actually can't remember. I think they are slightly compressed in here, aren't they? Careful. Oh no, this cable is actually very, very long. Look at this. Beautiful. Good design. Yes. Yes. They are compressed. That is a lot of work now to get these battery cells out here, because here I need to take these bus bars off to take the top lid off so I can reach these screws which are holding down the compression plate. Otherwise I can't get them out. Okay, that's a bit more work than I thought. This will take me a while. Well, the cells were not compressed. I remember now, we put the plate on and couldn't fit enough foam underneath the actual cells to make it a compression plate. So they were just loose inside this box. And also we have this aluminium bottom here built, because this is the frame it usually comes with. And the cell would be only supported at the bottom and at the top. So I didn't like this, so I put this aluminium plate in here. And despite this aluminium plate and having foam on each of the cells, we could not reach the compression plate top. That's fine, we don't need to compress, but we will see how these cells now will fit in the Gobelpower battery, because all this foam will add up, and I think we are coming even further out of this whole battery box, and I'm not sure if we can get the compression plate in. We will find out. Yeah, apart from that, I didn't need to take the lid off. I took off all the screws and now put them back in. So, and this battery here comes with this Seplos 10E with a version 2 BMS as well. And what I realized is here that all these holes, all of them, they are all lining up perfectly with the actual chassis. Even this lid is bended twice. All these holes lining up. As well as these 7 holes down here and on the other side at the bottom. And we have a curved front panel. All these holes lining up. I'm just not used to this anymore after building 2 do-it-yourself Gobelpower boxes. Okay, my friends, the cells are in the box. But if we measure 18 millimeters overhang of these batteries, because they all have foam in between as well as the epoxy sheet. So we use the compression plate now to push these batteries in all the way. Then I untighten all the screws again and we tighten them with 0.5 Newton meters. Because 0.5 Newton meters times 6 is apparently enough to put 300 kilogram of force on these battery cells. I haven't read any of your comments under the last video, where I showed you the comment of one of my viewers in regards to the compression of these cells. I haven't read any of these comments, because the video is not out yet. I'm still editing the video while I'm making this video. So, okay, let's see if you can spot any movement in the cells when I tighten the screw now. I'm starting with this one here. Oh yeah, they're coming together. This is probably all we can compress these cells together now. I really don't like the situation here with this foam. The cell is almost touching the compression plate over here, and we've got a 2 millimeter gap on the other side. This one is fairly even. Here you can see as well, there's a huge gap here on this side and almost no gap on the other side. The foam is not compressing equally. I probably have to take all these cells out and remove the foam and use only the epoxy sheet in between. That is so much work, and I've tried with one cell, and this shitty sticky foam is not coming off of these cells, even not with Miss Piggy. The foam does not come off easily, so you have to use this metal scraper here, this plate, and take off the foam. Unfortunately, the sticky part of the foam stays on the cell, but this is, you can hardly feel it. It's like a sticker basically. I tried with Miss Piggy, but it doesn't come off. It should be fine. Okay, first one done. So my friends, I have removed all the foam, all of it, even at the bottom and here at the top. No foam, no gap. And I could also use the screws which were in the package, not my 30mm long ones. Holes are lining up. No foam, then it works. But Gobelpower themselves, they put 4 EVA tape, and this EVA tape is much thicker than what I have used before. So I've now put the flexible bus bars onto the battery cells and connected all the balance cables to the positives of each cell. And of course I had to replace the ring lugs with 6mm ones, so they fit these studded terminals. I haven't done a time lapse of the crimping process for the 6mm ring lugs. I probably can just use the one from yesterday. So there you go. And now it's time to mount the BMS plate. Yeah, it's so much easier this time because I already know in which angle these cables have to be. I don't have to figure it out again. All right. As you have seen, I've also plugged in all the communication cables already. Makes it easier than if the front panel is already mounted. And now we are feeding the here. Now we are feeding these balance cables through these holes. Going over here. These ones, number 3 and 4, going over here. Just want to see if this one lines up better. No, it doesn't. No. See down there? The hole lines up, and here it is like 2.5–3mm off. Again, somehow it looks like these boxes are not square. Maybe they're a bit crooked or so. I don't know. Okay, I've checked the balance cables for polarity. No, not for polarity, for voltage order. Make sure all the cables are connected in the right order. This is number 2. This is number 1 here. And we plug in our first balance cables without the front plate, because apparently this is so much easier. And you know what? It is. So we want to start with the longest cables, which are the communication cables. This all plugs into the communication PCB and potentially, see, I made it wrong again. So what you need to do is here, you need to make sure that these bus bars are on the inside, not on the outside, because these cables are so short. They actually need this 10–12mm here for the bus bar to be on the other side, and they fit actually better. I just turned this one around as well because this cable is so short. Look at this bend. This is nothing I would design and build ever. Come on. Okay, I'm tightening these 2 middle screws here again, just to keep the front panel in place. Got the main negative connected to the bus bar, and this is our main positive, which goes to the main positive of the battery. Okay, positive, breaker, bus bar, negative, BMS, bus bar. Balance cables are connected. Oh, shit. You know what? Oh no. I have forgotten the power button. This will be a total nightmare to connect because it sits right underneath there somewhere. Oh, shit. Okay, it wasn't too bad. So final step is to connect the main positive of the battery to the BMS. And hopefully nothing happens. That's good. It's a good sign. If we have done everything correctly, it should turn on, and it does turn on. Oh, we've got an alarm. Oh shit. Straight away an alarm. That's not good. Oh man, I tell you what. I'm so glad the Gobelpower battery cells are finally united again with the Gobelpower battery case. Velcro time. Alright my friends, and in the final step I have to torque all these nuts here with 4 Newton meters, make sure everything is nice and snug and tight. And then we can put the cover on, the lid on, and we are done with the second build of a Gobelpower do-it-yourself kit. Okay, let me do this quickly and then we do a final verdict about this whole situation here. Yeah, of course, building such a box the second time is much easier. You know all the flaws and you know what to pay attention to. Like the BMS panel here, which will not line up with these holes. So I have to force the screw in there, destroying the thread of the screw. This side may fit actually, I don't know yet. Yeah, and then the whole front panel saga here, which will not fit at all. I probably have to drill out these holes a bit to make this all work with the frame. I really don't know. I checked the boxes as well, so there's no obvious damage on it. So I don't know if these boxes have been damaged during transport or so, or if this is just a design flaw, a manufacturing fault, but the holes are not lining up correctly and some of the straight lines of the box are not so straight. Anyway guys, overall this is a pretty good do-it-yourself box actually. There are some things I would personally change, like these cables and this sharp bend, and potentially trying to mount the BMS on the front plate as well, so we don't have these thick link cables anymore. But this would mean to redesign the whole front panel as well, so there's a bit of work involved in this. Yeah, apart from that guys, let me know what you think about these Gobelpower do-it-yourself kit boxes. You've seen issues, success and happiness are very close together here. Yeah, and again, maybe as a final verdict, I think the quality and the workmanship is not as good as we have seen in other boxes from Eel or Seplos. As I said in the beginning, everything is thought through, everything fits. So it's a far more satisfying experience actually to build a Seplos box than the Gobelpower box. But this is just my personal preference. As always, leave your comments down below. I'm always keen to read them. I also wondered how do we secure them towards each other. The Seplos Mason has this mechanic here and it keeps the batteries all mechanically aligned, but the Gobelpower boxes, they don't have that. So I'm not sure how this will work when we stack them up. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your amazing support here on the channel. Thank you for all your comments, all your likes. And a special thank always goes to these wonderful and beautiful people who are donating to the channel. And some are even becoming a member and supporting the channel on a regular base for less than the cost of a coffee per month. Whatever you do guys, thank you very much for that. This all helps and makes these videos possible. And until the next video guys, when we do something different. I'm saying this all the time and then we do the same shit again. Shit, I have to figure something out now. Until then guys, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye. So out of these 2 old vertical boxes here, we have now built 2 new vertical boxes. What have I done?